The time is here, guys, for another box office battle between superstar Rajinikanth and Thalapathy Joseph Vijay. Previously, in the battle, Vijay with director Lokesh Kanagraj, who was on top form at the time, made Leo a big hype project, but which did not perform as big as they had hoped because of a lot of squandering in the script, second half especially, with killing, or they call it narrably, of villains' children and so on, which was incredulous to say the least. And Lokesh tried to salvage it by saying it's an imagination of somebody and so on. Vijay's new movie Goat, director Venkat Prabhu even made some kind of a joke about it, saying that you don't have to make any assumptions when you go and watch the film Goat. So despite the major hype, Leo did not perform as well as was expected. And the underdogs, because at that time Nelson was coming off a semi-flop, which was Beast with Vijay, and Rajinikanth was seen as an older hero. They performed so well, it was neck and neck, and it is said that Jailer had a slight edge in the box office receipts. So that was the status quo before this. Now, with the hype of Vijay leaving cinema, his film Goat, directed by Venkat Prabhu, has got a lot of hype as well again. And it's got a certain number of box office receipts. Again, Vijay's box office is always controversial. I do not know why. Vijay is quite a good hero, his films do well, but I'm not sure why they like to amplify the amount to incredulous numbers. For example, not Venkat Prabhu, Premji Amaran, who's linked to Venkat Prabhu, family member, he hyped before the film itself, saying that it will do 1,500 crores in box office. So they pump it up like that. We don't see all that much happening in other heroes' films. They don't, even for Rajini, you rarely see anybody use words like that. If you see the interviews, not so common, at least as compared to Vijay. So why do they unnecessarily amplify a good hero's box office receipts and make him the butt of jokes? This one I'm not so sure. But anyway, his fans, I think they enjoy or love big box office numbers, right? Fine, no issues. Now, since the results with Jailer versus Leo came to be what it was, now we have another second round of the situation with Vijay fielding Venkat Prabhu, quite a dependable director. Venkat Prabhu has explored various genres. He's not a kind of a director who sticks to one particular pattern and repeats it forever, like Shankar does with his vigilante films. He's a creative person, and he's worked with Simbu in Manadu, where script was prioritized, did well. Of course, the producer was great, Suresh Kamachi. He suffered a lot. You should see his interviews to bring mercurial actor Simbu and Venkat Prabhu as a team to finish that project. So when we compare these new contenders, on one side we got Vettaiyan, helmed by a meritocratic group, I would say, because it's Rajinikanth, who was an outsider and worked hard to come to the top. And the director T.J. Gnanavel is also a journalist, an outsider who came into the film industry, and now in his third film with Vettaiyan, versus Nepo Kid Central, we could say, in fact, whereby the whole Goat film was like a family affair, with Venkat Prabhu being the director, Premji Amaran playing a role, and Yuvan Shankar Raja doing the music, okay, and all the stars and all were all Nepo kids, Prasanth, right, Tyagarajan's son, and Prabhu. They also have strong family links to the industry, and of course Vijay himself, the son of director S.A. Chandrasekhar. But just because it's Nepo Central does not mean it's bad, right? So these people have a step up when they join the industry, because their family will support them, including director Venkat Prabhu. But ultimately they have to prove their mettle as well, right? So that alone would not give us a direction on which film will do better. Now, to me, in my viewpoint, the error I think that Venkat Prabhu made when it came to Vijay was that he saw two things happening. One was that Vijay was about to leave the industry, and number two was that Vijay is starting a political party. So Venkat Prabhu, for better or worse, decided to pump in a lot of fan service, a lot of previous gimmicks, a lot of champagne, that I don't agree at all, because if you want to be a political contender, right, you want to educate, bring good habits to the population, not say champagne means campaign, and then play a role as a villain who cuts off a girl's neck and all these kind of things. I don't know, it just seems a bit off tangent to do that. Right, of course we don't expect Vijay to follow 100% MGR, because the world is now a much more modern place, but to go to the other extremes is a bit peculiar, right? And Vijay constantly being a gangster, smoking, drinking, killing people and all on screen, and then going to schools and giving high marks award seems a bit kind of not do it's like you do something else on screen and you try to tell something else to the population, so it's not leading by example, as people would say. Of course, we don't go into their Vijay's controversies with the tax payment and his Rolls Royce and his sudden interest in massive charity events only after declaration of political interest versus doing charity work like Surya, Sivakumar family has been doing it for years, right? Those are all a topic for a different day. Now we want to focus on box office for Goat, which did decently well, although apparently it collapsed in Andhra as well as surprisingly in Kerala. Right, Canada it did somewhat okay. Overseas, due to the use of this premier ticketing method, and also Vijay fans like to confuse us with North America versus United States box office receipts. North America means it includes Canada as well, so don't do that. As I said, Vijay fans must have confidence. Vijay is a good actor and his movies do well. The only problem comes is when you inflate the numbers, and then that's where he starts looking not so good, right? So without that, I think he is a major contender, definitely, no doubt about it. So God could have, I think, done better if they had gone more heavier into the script. Do heroes have a role, especially in this era of multi-starers and pan-India films? So to confront this, you can use this technique. Imagine Jailer with Mohanlal and Jackie Shroff and what do you call it, Shivana and all that, but without Rajinikanth. Let's say you put somebody else inside there as a hero, right? Maybe one of the younger, newer heroes, Manikandan or what is the hero in Jailer, right? Do you think it will have that much of box office? Right? Same thing in Leo or in Vijay's previous films. Even Goat, if Vijay was not there, would it have gotten that big an opening, right? So that answers that question itself for both Vijay and Rajini fans, right? If you guys attack each other saying that, oh, the movie is only doing well because it's got other stars supporting it, I don't think it holds water, right? If you say Jackie Shroff was in Jailer, then Sanjay Dutt was in Vijay's Leo, right? So that is the trend now, but the heroes definitely have a role, but is it the major role? That's, I think, where Venkata Prabhu went wrong. Even Rajinikanth in films like Padayappa and so on, he definitely added to the movie, of course, but the story was still the primary thing there, right? Why do you think Vijay Sethupathi Maharaja did so well, right? Screenplay, right? Story and screenplay. The story itself might have been very plain, revenge story with coincidences in the film Maharaja, but the way the screenplay was done, the way it sort of dragged you, or not say dragged you along, the way it like moved you along through the story, weaving it through to the end, and enhanced and enchanted the viewers, right? So screenplay should be the focus, like what Venkata Prabhu did with Manadu, right, which is like a newer way of telling a story in Hollywood. So him deciding to focus on fan service and gimmicks of Vijay's from previous movie which we already seen before, and how to say, putting champagne and CM2026, I know they're nepo kids, but do they keep thinking that Vijay gonna drop down from the sky and straight away be a chief minister, right? Or should he think that he should come up from the bottom, serve the community for years, be a counselor, learn the ropes, and slowly rise up the rank to go to the top? Maybe Napo kids are used to parachuting down to the top post. That's one way to look at it. But it could also be that Vijay is just putting a big ambition, and then so that from that ambition to be a chief minister, of course he understands there's a lot of failures, it's going to be a long journey, and then eventually he'll reach his final goal. Depends on how you look at it. So in this scenario, Vettaiyan being meritocracy central, budget also I think lower, because Goat has lots of de-aging, and they went to Russia to shoot a lot of stunt work, went to Thailand and all that, right? So comparatively, Vettaiyan seems more local based movie. Rajini has recently made an effort to give very very new directors an opportunity, focusing back again on story. He woke up from his slumber after Anate when he saw that Vikram by Kamal did so well and Vijay started to get linked with the word superstar. So maybe those negative events are positive after all. He started making a lot of proactive efforts in making the films, focusing on the story. So his Rajini's film, Rajini of course is an attractant, but when a film have a good story, the film do very very well. Padayappa and all is an example. So since the director of Vettaiyan is somebody who is very socially conscious, who does lots of very story oriented films, only three of course I know. So if that turns out to be the case here, if the director focuses on the story and Rajini is like a icing on the cake or a cherry on the cake, then yes, Vettaiyan have a potential to beat Goat's box office receipt. The secret here I think is story, guys. The heroes play a role, both Vijay and Rajini. If they serve the story, they become the icing on the cake, cherry on the cake. Definitely that one will be the winner. So share in the comment section. Thank you. Bye bye.